What is happening? It's Ryan with Long Crack, and my buddy just got these mowers right behind me. So we're about to do a couple things to them right now. They are pretty much stock, but we're gonna show you what we do to mowers when we get them like this, and then how much it costs and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so let's take a look at these mowers real quick before we get going and show you what we're about to do. So this is essentially stock. The only thing that we have done to this mower so far is slap the Proslide on it, because Billy did go out and mow the first day that he had the mowers and made some money with them. So that's the whole idea. But this is a SW25 Snapper Pro. It's a 48-inch hydro walk behind. Absolutely love this mower. This is exactly what I used in my lawn care business when I had it. So that's that one. And then we have the S200 XT Snapper Pro 61-inch zero-turn mower. This thing is an absolute monster. Great cut quality. Does excellent on hills. Everything you would want out of a zero-turn. And this one actually came with the presidential seat. So the dealer said Snapper accidentally sent the presidential seat on this model. They didn't charge them for it, so they didn't charge my buddy for it. So he got a $700 seat upgrade on this unit right here. Since he bought two at once, he also got, what was it, like $600 back in incentives for buying two at once. So there's all kind of advantages to buying multiple units at once and stuff like that. So here is the big powerhouse on the back of Kawasaki. So, so far so good. I'm very familiar with both these mowers, and Billy is too, as he worked for my lawn care company and now he's doing his own thing. So I'll have an opportunity to kind of document his progress and success as he gets his business going, because there's all kinds of grass to be cut in northern Kentucky. So what we're going to do here is, these flaps got to go. In my opinion, these things just cannot stay on a commercial mower like this. They're just not ideal for too many situations. You're going to end up getting a lot of grass into beds and stuff like that if you don't have a way to close that deck. So we're going to fabricate a piece of metal right here, which is going to be a little bit of engineering type deal going on here, as we do have like a little bit of space here that we're going to need to account for before our flap can come in. And then if you notice, the deck kind of curves around, so we'll have to bend our flap, but it is all good. We will figure it out, and we will document the whole process and show you exactly how we do it. So besides getting a flap on here, we're going to make a little strap system so you can easily lower and close it without having to get off the mower or anything like that. And then same type deal over here. We're going to do the same thing with this flap right here. And this system's gonna be rigged up to here, so the operator can open and close the flap just by simply stopping the mower and going like this. So we'll show you that once we get it on there and make more sense. And then the other thing we do to these Snapper Pro walk behinds right here is these wheels are really, really narrow, especially for how big they are. And it causes scalping issues on areas that should not have scalping issues. So we're going to address that by widening the wheelbase by adding coupling nuts. So I'll show you how we accomplish that, and it really does make all the world of difference. But look at that, new tires on these bad boys. Everything's new. So really cool. Love seeing new mowers like this. Highly recommend, if you're running a lawn care company, to invest in the right equipment. I believe his payments for these are like $305 a month at 0% financing. So he can go cut $300 worth of grass by noon, one day out of the month. And these machines are paid for, and they just allow him to be so much more efficient, use less energy than, say, he was trying to walk behind a push mower all day. He would not be able to cut as many lawns. He would be way more tired after doing a couple lawns. So it's really important, if you're trying to do this right and make money in this industry, to get the right equipment. And then this video is not on the trailer, but he also just did get a brand new Big Tex, apparently 35 SA trailer. So This thing is really slick. It's got the gate assist, LED lights, had some tie downs welded onto the frame and stuff. So really nice trailer. He went with the spare for an extra $100 on this bad boy, which I think was a great idea, as you know how flat tires can ruin your day if you've been in this industry for any period of time. But we will get to doing some measuring and this kind of stuff, figure out exactly what we need. We're gonna have to go get some hardware. We actually already have a piece of metal that we're gonna fabricate the flaps out of right here. So we just need to get the last couple things that we need, and then we'll be good to go. Show you how to do this. Okay, so I just wanted to show you real quick where we're at. We are gonna start by figuring out what we need to space out these wheels. So I've loosened all the nuts. I just had this. I couldn't get the leverage I needed, so I slid this pipe onto here, got the leverage I needed, cracked them loose. Now I'm about to lift it up, because you need to keep the wheel on the ground to break these loose. So just, if you didn't know that, that is a definite, the right way to go about that. Make this so much easier. Don't lift it off the ground and then try to break your nuts loose. Break your nuts loose first and then lift it off the ground. And then we'll pull this off and we'll take a look at what's going on and what we're about to do. Okay, so I popped the wheel off. We have the wheel off. So the lug nuts used to pull into these studs right here, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get something called a coupling nut and extend this out. So I'm gonna take this nut with me to the hardware store so I can get the right thread, size, everything like that for this coupling nut. Then we're gonna put the coupling nut on. I'll show you what that is. I'll pop one on the screen, but I'll show you when we get it. And then it's gonna extend this out. And then instead of using lug nuts to hold the wheel back onto the coupling nut we put on, we are gonna have a bolt go through here. So we'll get a bolt with a little tapered thing so it'll sit in the little seat just like the lug nut does. It'll pull into this. This is exactly what I did to my lawnmowers when I had them, and it made all the difference in the world. I believe all I did was space it out 1.25 inches on each side, if that. So we went about 2.5 inches wider on the wheelbase in the back, and it seriously cut down on how much the mower scalps. Like, it basically eliminated scalping, but before we spaced them out, it was scalping on like nearly flat ground. My guys were freaking out. I didn't even believe them, and then I went and tried it, and sure enough, freaking scalping on flat ground. So it was ridiculous. Had a little conversation with Snapper Pro about it, but we got it sorted out. Love these machines, highly recommend them still, and we'll keep the video moving. Okay, quick update before we run and grab what we need. We just took this off to double check everything. It looks like this is gonna be perfect, where we can just stick our angle right here, bend our metal down here, and just fabricate that as needed to make that work. We're gonna stick an eye bolt right here, and then our lift system will come up through this eye bolt and then up to here, where we'll have another eye bolt and a stud, and that'll act as the open and shut. When it's in the eye bolt, it'll be shut. When it's up on the post we install, it's gonna be open. And whoever's operating the mower can just quickly and easily do that from right here. Just throw your mower into neutral real quick, and then just bop, 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 up, down with the flap, and keep mowing, keep making money. So that's the game plan. We have our list of everything we need. We're about to run to the local hardware store and pick up all the parts, come back and whip this thing together and show you exactly how we do it. Okay, so we are back, and we could not find the coupling nuts we needed. So what we're gonna do is just attempt to get by with just a nut. So the whole idea here is, now when our wheels go back on, they are going to be this much farther out on each side. So that's roughly gonna get us a little over 1 inch wider wheelbase on the back, which is just gonna help with scalping issues. So Billy said when they ran this mower yesterday, they really didn't notice any difference. So hopefully with this, they never do. We'll get it put back on there, and you'll see that it is, doesn't really look much difference. I'll show you this wheel this side of the mower and the other side, and it's going to be very hard to tell which side had been spaced out, but it does make a lot of difference. So if you're having scalping issues, maybe consider doing something like this. Okay, we have the wheel installed with the nut behind here on the backside, spacing it out. So as you can see, we're still flush, we're fully threaded in, which is very important. If your studs do not come through, you're going to need to get larger studs or something, but this is fine right here. So we are good. And then I'll get behind the mower, and well, before I do that, I also wanted to note, when you tighten down lug nuts, you need to go in a pattern like this. So this is the pattern right here, crossing pattern, yeah, star pattern. So if there was 5, you would bounce around however, but you don't just go around like in a clock to tighten down anything like this. You always go in a crossing pattern and do it a couple times and really get these things snug on there. So let's look behind the mower and see if you can even tell that it's been spaced out. So there we are on this side, there we are on this side, and from me, I can kind of tell. So in real life, it's a little easier, but I still think you can see that on the video, that we are definitely spaced out slightly. And as you can imagine, cutting on hillsides and stuff like that, this will help keep the deck even on the high side and the low side, and make sure you're getting a nice even flush cut and not scalping. Okay, so we are moving right along here. This wheel has been spaced out. Now this wheel has been spaced out also. So we are on to fabricating the flaps. So Billy was working on this as I was doing the wheels, and we have this. So we have this piece of angle iron attached. We took off the original flap. We have it bolted on. So that's the whole system. We're still utilizing the carriage bolts and the original piece down here. So this is nice and sturdy. And then I'm about to cut this piece of metal right here that's going to attach to this, which will cover up everything right here. And then we'll get our little system going so the operator can just open and close it like that. So I have already measured out. This is going to be for the walk behinds flap. This is going to be for the 0 turns flap. And I'm just simply going to take this right here. So here, Billy's getting ready to cut down this strap right here. Say hi, Billy.
Hi.
Hey. So he's getting ready to cut this one down right here. We'll do that with the angle grinder right there. Pop. I'll do the same thing with the angle grinder here. Shoop, shoop. Cut out our flaps, and then we'll get them on these mowers and keep our grass within our deck. All right, Billy is putting the finishing touches on our fabricated flap right here. So I just have a temporary thing holding it up to make it easier to work with. But as you can see, there's a little bend to the deck, so we bent the end of the flap right here. And we have our angle iron right there, bolted to the original mount. We have our flap bolted to the angle iron, so it is, where it needs to be. Here's the back side. What's going on down there? And I just make sure, if you guys are going to do this, like, make sure you have room for these. These go in here. They're not going to hit this or anything like this and cause it to, be sticking out that much on the bottom or anything. So it's going to be nice and flush. We'll drop it down and show you. This is in real time. We haven't even done this yet, but voila, look at that. I mean, it's freaking slick.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd almost think we've done this before,
I like that bend you put in there, man.
So then here's the back side where that little corner is, just because of how it is, and there's actually, we could not keep it straight with that right there, so we notched off a little bit, bent it. So the whole point of this is so the grass doesn't come over here. Say there was a bed on this side and it was a real tight area, so the grass will come back here and then go back towards under the mower instead of towards the bed. So that's the whole point right there. But I see you guys spending, hundreds of dollars on EZchutes and stuff like that. We literally got everything to do this, to space the wheels out, and to make our automatic pull flap system, which we haven't got to yet, for, was it 22, 23 bucks? So
For two different ones.
yeah, so that's outfitting 2 different mowers, and You know, you do this one time, takes a couple hours, a little bit of thought to plan out where you're drilling your holes, what size you need everything to be, stuff like that. But then this is going to save you time on every single lawn that you mow moving forward. And that's what I really think one of the differences. I think there's several differences from the companies making money and not making money, but the companies making money are getting the jobs done super fast, and they're not spending too much money on stuff like this. You don't have to spend money, crazy money on stuff like this. Super cheap, it gets the job done, it works excellent, very quick and easy from the controls. It's awesome. So we'll get this finished up and show you the rest. Okay, so here she blows. So this is the finished product, and we ended up just sticking an eye bolt right here, put an eye bolt right there so we could attach our strap to our flap. So it comes up through here, comes up right to the operator controls. So we installed this stud right here, going through here. So there's just a nut here, holding that in place. And same thing right here, nut here, nut here. One thing to note on these snappers is this piece, this whole piece will come forward. That's why we didn't just go both in here, because there's tension on this when it's open, but there's not when it's closed. So this is just like a holder, and it doesn't matter that this isn't super secure right here. But this one we needed to be super secure, so it's on this nice mounted piece right here. And this is how it works, so you can see that you really don't have to be spending all that kind of money on those things. Just whoop, boop. That's there, totally out of the way. We're not going to be hitting anything, nothing to worry about. Need to raise it back up. You simply grab this, pull up, put it in that one. So boop, down, up. That's all there is to it. Down, up. So this is why we don't spend hundreds of dollars on this kind of stuff when you can make it out of a $2 strap from Harbor Freight and a couple dollars in hardware. And we actually already had this piece of metal, but if you need to get a piece of metal, what you need to do is make sure that it has some thickness to it. I really have no idea how thick this is, but this is not like flimsy. It is rigid. It's going to stay like this. It's going to bend when it starts hitting stuff. But you know, eventually we'll replace that. We still have that much left off the sheet that we got. But you know, if you get something like that sheet of metal from Home Depot or something like that, it's going to be expensive. If you call like a metal fabricating place, we got this from like an industrial fabricator. They sell it by the foot. It was super cheap. I think it was literally like 80% less than we would have paid for the same size sheet from Home Depot. So definitely look into that. Consider doing something like this. So this mower is ready to go. This is how I would recommend to set up your commercial walk behind. You know, if you don't need to space your wheels out, you don't need to. I recognize this as an issue, as when I got my first set of snappers, I got 3 of these at one time. I also had a 48-inch X-Mark, and I was comparing, like, why does the X-Mark not scalp? Why does this scalp? And the glaring difference was how far these wheels were spaced apart. So I was like, okay, how can I make these wheels spaced out further apart? And just put the coupling nuts in originally. This time we just went with nuts, and I believe it looks like we're good. So they said they didn't have any issues before. They most certainly shouldn't have any issues now. Our grass is going to be kept within our deck when we need it. And yeah, man, that's what's up. So until another video, keep making money.